What's going on, people? Welcome back. OnlyFacts Sports episode 9. Is it episode 9?
I don't even remember.
You don't remember?
Definitely 9.
Yeah, see, I'm getting better at this. Episode 9. Do you know what I'm saying?
This guy checked before we went on stream. Did you check?
If I checked, why would I have asked you if it's episode 9?
That's true.
Alright, cool. True. At some point, you're going to start thinking, though. Here's what it is. We're running a bit late.
I ain't got the time.
We're running a bit late because certain man don't read their messages properly. They're just skim reading. They're skim reading the messages. You know, you're skim reading the messages.
You know why this is so wicked? You're wicked for this, you know, because let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. You personally said that not even said, you got all the equipment here. How do you not charge the mics? How do you not charge?
No, but before that, no. Before that, you come like 3 hours late.
Man said I came 30 minutes late. I came at 1. I came at 1:15.
No, you didn't. You come at 2:15.
What time did we say?
I said 1:30.
2:15.
I said 1:30.
I came 45
That's
minutes
45 minutes, and I actually said to you 11.
And he did. And
I said 11.
And then I said 12. And then you couldn't make 12. And then what did you do? Double. You didn't even have the thing set up for me. And then not even that. You didn't even charge the mics, bro. Come on, bro.
You were in charge. You were in charge.
It's not in my yard.
You were in charge.
What do you mean?
You were in charge. That's your area.
No. If I was.
So Arsenal were making moves. Moving on with the show. Like the video, subscribe to the channel OnlyFacts Sports. Nick, Shane, if you haven't met us before. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. OnlyFacts Sports episode 9. Arsenal making moves. Obviously, trophyless season for Arsenal again. Arteta under
4th consecutive season.
Man don't need to know that, innit? Man just need to focus on.
Maybe 5th.
Man just need
I don't know. 5th consecutive.
Man just need to focus on. It was a trophyless season. Arteta's under pressure, and him and Berta are going big, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? 60 mil spent. Zubimendi. We've got the here we go by hold on by Fabrizio Romano. Now we're hearing 80 million euro potentially on Victor Gyokeres. Obviously, certain man are residential haters and they're going to hate on everything and say it's not a good signing and whatever. But Arsenal moving serious. And the first thing we have to say, just to be positive one little bit, the first thing we have to say, and you have to agree with this type of movement this early in the transfer window is very un-Arsenal-like. It's very bro. We don't move like this early.
Yeah, but I don't mean nothing because the truth be what it looks like. It looks like when Ten Hag signed all of them man from the Dutch league.
Nothing that we do looks like anything that Ten Hag does.
No, let me tell you why. Because you know, just pretty much signed every person from flipping Real Sociedad. You just signed Marino, signed Zubimendi, you signed the flipping Martin Odegaard. I'm like, bro, you might as literally.
If it gets us Isak, then we can continue. I'm happy with that. Do you know what I'm saying? If it gets us Isak, then let's do it.
You know my biggest concern with this with the Zubimendi deal?
Go on.
The fact that you in the last 3 seasons, or maybe even 4 seasons, 5 seasons, in the last 5 seasons, your marquee signing has been a centre midfielder, and you still ain't got it right. You signed Partey.
I've got it right.
You signed Rice. Well, if you got it right, why are we?
Declan Rice has been fantastic for 2 years.
He's your best player.
Yep.
But my point is, if he's that good, and if your midfield is so balanced, why are we signing another one?
I can answer that.
Go on.
Jorginho is leaving on the free at the end of the season.
Jorginho's not even a person who starts in your team.
So I think Partey will drop down. Partey has been very good this season, but he's got an awful defensive record and he's aging. For me, Partey would drop down to the Jorginho role, and we would start with Zubimendi, Rice, and Partey would come on.
So where does Marino fit in this? Because you lot just signed him for 50 million in the transfer.
Marino is firmly on the bench. That signing.
Where does Havertz fit in? Because Havertz was signed as a midfielder as well.
The thing is, I'll be honest with you, I could answer all of these questions into all the different things that we could do. James B's got a video on Gooniverse of how the midfield. I'm answering.
I don't ask you. Don't need to plug another channel.
I'm answering.
I don't need you to plug another channel.
Maybe he's paying me. You don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't know. So, but James B, we do he does Gooniverse, we do Tactical Insight, so do you know what I'm saying? That's my brethren still. But he's got a video on his channel breaking down how all the different amazing, beautiful ways the midfield can line up and different tactics and strategy. I'm in our business. I just want to win trophies, innit? So I don't care if Marino's on the bench. I don't care if Havertz on the bench. I can tell you that Marino is going to be a backup for Rice in the 8 position. I can tell you that Havertz is going to be a backup for Ødegaard in the 10 position. I can tell you that Havertz is going to be a backup for Gyokeres on the... No, you're not, because you asked me a question. I can tell you that he could be backup for Gyokeres at the 9. I can tell you we might be tactically flexible and go 4-4-2 and we'll have to talk, and I can give you this stuff. Man, don't care. If it just gets me... I don't care who rots on the bench. I don't care how many minutes man get. I don't care about that. If we can win a trophy and it looks like we're bringing in the right players to win trophies, then I don't care about all the rest of it.
Can I get to speak? Because I'm starting to see a very common thing with Arsenal and United. Common. Let me tell you how. I know bad business when I've seen bad business. Arsenal, since Arteta's come, every season he's made sure he bought a left back, which tells me that you didn't get it right the first time. And you just keep bringing in players to correct your mistakes. Since he's come in, he's brought in about 4 left backs word to yard man. He's brought in 2 separate goalkeepers. He's brought in 1 bag of separate midfielders individual every season. And it's like when United just bought a striker and another striker and another striker to fix the problem that we created in the first place. Let's keep it real, bro. Most of the signings that Mikel Arteta has signed, not most, but half of his signings have been crap. And I have no confidence in Mikel Arteta signing the right signings if he's already bringing in someone to fix a problem that he thought he fixed when he brought in Moreno. That doesn't. If 6 months ago you brought in Moreno and then you went back to the same club to fix the same position, for me, I'm kind of concerned right now.
It's not the same position.
They're both playing centre mid.
It's not the same position.
What formation do you play?
4-3-3.
You play 4-3-3.
Yeah.
And you play.
We play a 6, 8, and a 10.
You play 6, 8, and a 10. 4-2-3-1. In theory, because you play a 10. But
well, however you want to say it. However you want to say it.
You 4-3-3, cool. You play a
Kevin De Bruyne and Rodri are not the same player.
No, they're not. But Partey, you're saying Partey and Zubimendi is.
Yes.
Jorginho and Zubimendi is.
Yes, Jorginho is leaving. So we need 2 sixes.
And Moreno were supposed to be roughly the same thing, no?
I agree.
And then did you not see my point?
I think no, I don't. Havertz.
The fact that he's buying players to fix a mistake that he made in the first place.
The biggest mistake he's made signing wise, the biggest is Havertz. I'm not saying he hasn't made other mistakes.
What about Zinchenko? He signed Zinchenko. I don't think Zinchenko. And then he decided to buy another left back the season after that. Another left back the season after that.
I think that they're 2 different things. When we bought Zinchenko, he was a good left back for the time that we bought him, but the style of football that we play now, he's not able to play. The team has moved beyond Zinchenko, and that happens.
You bought another left back.
Who's the other left back? He didn't buy another left back straight away. Zinchenko was in the team for a couple of years.
He bought Zinchenko.
He bought Calafiori. The next left back he's bought is Calafiori.
No, but when he stopped playing my man at left back, he was playing Timber left back at times as well.
Yeah, because Ben White was fully fit.
So he bought Timber.
Yeah.
To play and played him left back.
But he wasn't a left back.
But he played him left back.
He did.
And then he also, at this time, Ben White was fit. He also had Tomiyasu, who he also bought as well.
Yeah.
And he played Tomiyasu both left back and right back.
Very rarely did he play.
Mainly right back.
Yeah.
Mainly right back, but he bought Ben White, no, didn't he?
He did.
And so my point is...
He's building a squad.
No, my point... No. It's not if you're buying someone. If you're buying someone...
Also, all of this is irrelevant because... The difference is, at that time, again, I've said this on the show before, man want to always attack Arteta. We don't know how many of those signings are down to... He said it
I
don't care what he said. But the managers say things all the time, as it could be PR spin, it could be... It could be, we're judging on trophies, we're judging on what he says.
Both.
Okay, cool. So what if... Okay, all right, fair enough. Now we've got Berta, we've got a much more experienced director of football. So we've got someone there who is experienced in buying and identifying the right profile of player, which is something that I wasn't keen on Arteta having the final say on players because he's not experienced. We had an inexperienced director of football and an inexperienced manager.
Who historically got most of his signings wrong.
Who? The director of football?
Arteta.
The director,
one of the two.
Definitely the director of football. Because the reason I say definitely the director of football is because the director of football was also there. The same director of football was there before Arteta was even there, and the recruitment was poor before. So already, do you know what I'm saying? And Arteta's signings have definitely been hit and miss, but we can use the eye test. When we signed Marino, most Arsenal fans were not happy with that signing. When we signed Havertz, most Arsenal fans were not happy with that signing.
I think Zubimendi
Hold on a second.
Marino, though.
Maybe he's going to be. Do you know what I mean? Maybe he's going to be, but he's there to like I say, we have a 6 leaving, and the other 6 that we've got is getting older and not fit and reliable. So the striker position is the most urgent position for Arsenal, in my opinion. But
he went and gambled and got Gyokeres.
But then we could talk about that. But the 6th position is a position that's going to be a problem, that would have been an emerging problem soon. It wasn't urgent, but that's what he's done. He's plugged the 6th problem with someone who
we don't know.
We don't know. We don't know. But I think that he is similar, certainly a similar profile to Partey, but younger, fitter, more legs.
Outside of Timber, this is the only outside of Timber.
Yep.
Every time, and even sometimes
you're going to say he's brought in a player that's not from the Premier League.
Outside of Timber, everybody's bought someone outside of the Premier League. They flopped, in my opinion, every single time. What player banged that he bought outside of the Premier League?
Martin Odegaard.
You don't want him out, bro. Some people don't even want him as a captain. Man want him dropped as captain, bro.
I would want him dropped as captain, but that doesn't mean that he didn't bang. He's been here for 3 years and he's been off form for the last few months, which by the way is when he's come back from injury. He got a 3-month injury earlier on in the season. So since he's come back from since it's this season,
there's been a heavy criticism on Martin Odegaard.
100%, but he's been here for 3 years, and for the last 2 years he's been good. He was the top scorer midfielder last season. Mm-hmm. So we can't. But you're
not looking to replace him straight away.
He was out for 3 months this season. He's not fully recovered from his injury. So that's what it is. That's what it is. So yes, there is a school of thought that he needs to focus on his own performances rather than focusing on being the captain. But that's not an indictment of his performance. You do very oversimplified analysis. Then we've got Gyokeres, who again is a gamble. We don't know. So. It's a lot of money, but he is one of the top strikers in terms of numbers. He's one of the top strikers in Europe.
In what a crap league.
100%.
This is one
the same league Ronaldo came from.
This is the reason. One of the reasons.
The same league Ronaldo came from.
This is the reason why I didn't want you.
The same league Ronaldo came from.
Facts.
Who would you want as a striker?
If I was Arsenal.
No. If you were you.
If I'm United.
Yeah.
To be fair, I can't trust anybody United sign. Because
I'm not asking. No. No, you can't, because that's not the question I asked you. Who do you? Shane?
I'm going to answer that. Give me chance to land my point.
Give me chance. Not even give me
a chance to land my
blood
point.
fire.
The truth
I'm here with Dillian White.
The last 3 seasons or 4 seasons, going back to Ronaldo, we've panic buyed strikers. We've panic bought strikers, bro. Mm-hmm. Like whether it was flipping Xerxes, Ronaldo, Højlund, we just panic buy strikers. You know what I'm saying? Like we'd never bought someone with a clear identity and philosophy of how we want to play football.
Okay.
So for me, when you ask me what striker I want, I genuinely don't know what style of football Amarin's looking to play. If you're asking me based on what I've seen this season, I actually wouldn't mind someone like Cunha. I actually wouldn't mind him. Mm-hmm. Because what it looks like he's trying to play is someone who can pretty much play along the front three. Like I've even seen at times Bruno play up front. I've seen Kobe Mainoo play up front. I've seen him literally, and obviously when he plays Xerxes up front, he uses Xerxes to link up play. He doesn't actually play. But when he was at Sporting, he had a man that was running in behind the channels in Gyokeres. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, I don't know what he's looking to do because it's difficult to say. But apparently we're being linked to Cunha, but he's a Premier League player. So I can at least say this is what we're going to get from him in the Premier League. Yeah. For the most part, when we've signed signings in the last few years, they haven't been Premier League proven. And they've almost, like, I think about some of the players that's flopped for us, and it's like, we've almost gambled as well. We're doing what you lot are doing. And I feel like this season, I agree with you, Nick. I agree this is the season for Arteta to win something. And I feel like if your marquee signing has to be a striker, if I'm Arsenal, I'm going all out to get me a person that I know, not an uncertainty that I know is going to bang for me. And for me, if it's 140 million for Isak, I'm paying the 140 million for Isak.
If the thing is, I agree with you in sentiment, but the reality is, if Newcastle are in the Champions League, they don't need to sell, and Isak is not going to leave. So it's not just a question of, we could put down 200 million, 300 million, he might not leave. And then regardless of how good he is, you over leverage yourself. You put that kind of money on a player, he breaks his leg or gets injured. That's just what I'm saying.
I don't we don't.
The money we have to spend. The reality is, it's not my money, so I don't care. But the fact of the matter is, the money we have to spend is finite. It's not an infinite amount of money.
The money, if you combine the two wages, the two figures,
signings, yeah,
two signings, I would have just put all of that on Isak. Because let me tell you one thing. I guarantee you, and this is something I can guarantee.
Even if it meant not signing anyone else.
Yeah, let me land.
Okay.
If you bought Zubimendi and Gyokeres and they will stay fit for the whole season, or you bought Isak, just Isak, for the whole season, I guarantee you'll finish higher with Isak than Gyokeres and Zubimendi, in my opinion, based on what I've seen from Arsenal. Also, I don't even think Gyokeres fits Arsenal's style of play.
I don't think we can say that, because what we've seen with Arteta is that he adjusts the style of play to bring in new signings. So what we're seeing right now,
I don't know about that. Not offensively.
We haven't bought in any strikers. He's bought in one striker.
We bought in Havertz and played him as a striker.
But he didn't bring in a striker.
Trossard's a striker.
No, he's not. He's a winger.
But okay, he plays Trossard up front though.
When all of our attacking options are injured, it's a last resort. But that's obviously not part of his plan. That's obviously not part of his plan.
Maybe there's a reason why he's not bringing in a striker. Maybe there's a reason.
What reason are you positing that might be?
I don't know, but maybe there is a reason why he personally has decided to consciously not bring in a striker.
And maybe
every Arsenal fan knew that they needed one.
And maybe that was because he couldn't find the right profile of striker until he's found Gyokeres.
How can you say that when last season you lot could have went and made an effort to get Ollie Watkins or Ivan Toney and you didn't?
What's that got to do with us signing Gyokeres now?
I'm saying he's signing Gyokeres because now he has to. He literally gonna lose his job, bro. If he doesn't sign a striker, bro. If he doesn't sign a striker, he obviously know his philosophy hasn't worked. He was stubborn enough to not sign a striker last season, even when every Arsenal fan knew he needed one. In the January transfer window was the same thing.
I think that's down to the board and finances. I think that he's still. I know he's gonna come out. I know he's gonna come out.
One bag of players in the last 2 seasons, bro.
Last summer we didn't sign anyone.
The last 2 seasons, and you signed Marino in January. So you could have at least made an effort to sign a striker.
I think we did. We looked at a striker, but it was too late. I think we looked at either John Duran or Ollie Watkins, but it was too late.
From the first day of the transfer window that you needed a striker.
Yeah.
In January.
Yeah.
And my point is very straightforward though, and I don't even know why we're having this debate. Gyokeres is a gamble, and every
signing is a gamble.
It's true, but it's a big gamble. The biggest problem this season has been breaking down low blocks. Mm-hmm. I feel like
I don't think that's our biggest problem. It's one of our problems, not our biggest problem.
What's your biggest problem attacking this season?
We don't score enough goals.
Most of the time when breaking down low blocks.
That's potentially part of it, but we lack goals from our midfield. Ødegaard hasn't been firing. Like I say, last season Ødegaard scored 15, 16 goals, the top goal scorer in midfielder.
Even last season you struggled to break down low blocks. The first season when you finished second, you broke down low blocks as well. But even last season you struggled to break down low blocks. This season you struggled to break down low blocks. Gyokeres to me isn't a low block type of player. Not when he plays for Sporting, because most of the time it's low percentage. Most of the time it's low percentage when you play without the ball and catch man on the counter attack.
I think that, but like I say, I think the way that we play, we're going to have more of a target man. We're going to have someone that occupies space. We're going to have someone that's more of a physical presence. We've lost our ability to score from set pieces a little bit with no Gabriel, no Havertz, etc. He will be back in there again. People will laugh about set piece FC, but again, it's another big, it's another big body. When we're setting up from a corner with our best team, let's say we've got Zubimendi at the 6 and Rice at the 8. That means you've got a box of Gyokeres, Rice, Gabriel, Saliba, possibly Ben White, a lot of different things. He opens up a lot of different options for us to play differently. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's really positive. We're getting someone in who is coming in. People look at, say, Darwin Núñez is the one that people look at and say, well, Darwin Núñez came from Portugal. He was badding it up there. Now he looks shit. But Darwin Núñez is completely devoid of confidence. I don't actually think Darwin Núñez is a bad player. He may leave Liverpool and go and start banging in goals again. But if we could get Darwin Núñez when he was confident, at his peak confidence, he can be a nightmare of a player to play against. Do you know what I mean? And if we get Gyokeres and he's on that confident run, he hasn't played in the Prem, but he has played in England, so he's familiar with the physical side of football.
He's a physical player.
The Championship's a very difficult league to bang in.
I just feel like what we're in right now as an Arsenal fan, you're in such a delicate position. And for me, the fact that you've literally just gone Gyokeres straight away, you haven't even tried to, because for me, there's not a lot of strikers around anyway.
What Prem proven strikers are there that we could go for, other than Isak, who Newcastle are not going to sell?
Sorry?
what proven strikers are there that we could go for other than Isak, who Newcastle are not going to sell?
It's tough because right now there isn't a lot of strikers, period. But I'm not saying...
Even if you want to say that Arsenal made a mistake in missing the window when Ollie Watkins, who looks to be slowing down a little bit in my opinion, Ivan Toney, now he's gone to Saudi.
Facts.
Potentially that's true, but as it stands today, the signing of Victor Gyokeres for Arsenal is a positive. I think that at our best, especially if we get a creative left winger, sounds like we're looking at a winger, we're also looking at another attacking midfielder.
So let me ask you a question.
Let me finish.
You didn't ask me a question and didn't let me answer.
I didn't. What question did I ask you?
You asked me what striker could you
then you said it was tough, and I thought, okay, cool. I'll take the answer. I agree, it's tough, and then we're moving on. So, but for me, at our best, our striker does not need to be. At our best, we have goals distributed around the team.
You just said you don't. You just said you don't.
At our best, we haven't been at our best this season. At our best, we do have goals distributed around the team when we're playing at our best. We don't need a striker to come in and be a Haaland and score 30 goals. We have a good amount of goals, I believe, distributed around the team, especially if we go and get another attacking left winger.
I'll ask you this question.
Go on.
You said you have to win a trophy this season.
Yes.
Does the signing of Gyokeres win you a trophy this season?
Win us a trophy, almost certainly, even if it's a League Cup or an FA Cup. It might not be one of the big trophies, but...
So the signing of Gyokeres specifically wins you a trophy this season?
I would say so. If we played exactly the same season again, but with Victor Gyokeres, that's what I believe.
Disagree.
I believe that if Gyokeres is able to chip in this season, all right, let's say Jesus was out for the whole season. Let's say Jesus was out, Gyokeres is in. Even if he scores 15 to 20 goals across all comps, that wins us a trophy, I believe.
I don't think so, because if you look at your attackers this season, Havertz and Moreno, who's played up front for the most part, how much goals he got between them? It's about 15 goals between them.
Which is not bad, given that neither of them are strikers.
And you didn't win a trophy.
Neither of them are strikers.
But you didn't win a trophy. So you're saying if you get 15 goals from a striker, you will win a trophy, but you got 15 goals from two players who played up front and they didn't get.
But neither of them are strikers. If they can score 15, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe then what I'm noticing from what you're saying is that the number that I picked is too low. But if he can score those same goals that they scored plus 10 more because he's a better striker than they are, and that's his dedicated position, then I think that gets us a trophy.
No chance to acclimatise to the league. Is just straight bang.
But he's got to know that that's what it is. If right now, if you're Victor Gyokeres, the only clubs that want you want big wages, you want to go to a top team, you're leaving sport and you're one of the hot striking prospects. Any club you go to, they're going to want you to perform right now. Whether you go to Bayern, whether you go to Liverpool, going to Arsenal is no different to that. Do you know what I mean? The only difference is with Liverpool is that they have a shit ton of attackers. So if Núñez flops, then they've got other attackers to cover. They've got Gakpo. They've got a front six. They've got 6 attackers. They can take off their whole front three. They've done it in this season. They've taken off their whole front three and replaced them with a whole other front three.
You know the biggest thing for me,
especially if we get a Rodrigo or a Nico Williams or someone like that. Rodrigo's leaving Real Madrid, so Arsenal looking at him. But especially if we get a good left winger as well.
I don't understand how Arsenal go from finances being an issue to signing potentially Rodrigo, Gyokeres and Zubimendi in one transfer window.
Why?
You just said
we had a net spend of 17 million last.
You said
last
finances
summer
was a problem.
Yeah.
And you've just signed Moreno for 40-something million in January.
Yep.
You signed Zubimendi for how much? 60. Gyokeres is 80, right?
Yeah, I think that's in euros though. So about 60 million pounds.
60 million pound. I think it's more.
Maybe about 100 to 110 million pound between the two of them, roughly.
And then Rodrigo's going to be pushing 70, 78.
I'm not sure of his contract situation. I'm not sure. I need to double check. I think he might be in the last year of his contract.
But Rodrigo plays right wing, not left wing.
He's a left winger. He's been forced to the right wing to accommodate other players, but his natural position is left wing.
Where he plays for Real Madrid is right wing.
His natural position is left wing.
When was the last time he played left wing?
I don't watch Real Madrid enough to know, but
he don't play it for Real Madrid.
It don't matter to me. I think if it's Raheem Sterling's played both wings this season,
and
Martinelli's plays both wings this season.
The only successful winger you have in your team is Saka.
I think Sterling looked better when he moved to the left. He was better on the left. He's shit regardless, but he's better on the left. But if you're a top class winger, I don't think it should make a difference. Bukayo Saka came through the ranks at Arsenal as a left winger.
Bukayo Saka's special though, bro.
So is Rodrigo, allegedly. Before we played Real Madrid.
If he was special, Real Madrid wouldn't be getting rid of him. You know that. What special player does Real Madrid get rid of? What special player does Real Madrid get rid of? None. Saka is special, bro. I'll keep it real. So is Rice. Rice is a special player. And that's what I'm saying. And bro, you could be so right and I could have egg on my face. But when I'm being so honest and no bants aside, I don't think when I look at Gyokeres, I don't think he's the caliber of Rice or Saka. I don't think so. I just feel like he had a bad boy season at Sporting, or bad boy last 2 seasons at Sporting. He's coming to the Premier League in the first season. He has to win you the league. He's gonna score a bag of goals because Saka. If he scores a bag of goals, we win a trophy. I genuinely don't think so.
You think that he could score 25, 30 goals, all comps?
I don't think he scores 25. I think
how you said a bag of goals. How much is a bag of goals for a striker?
17, 18 goals
in all comps.
Prem.
Okay.
17 goals.
But all comps though.
The reason why he scores those
all
goals.
comps. But I'm saying all comps though.
No,
30 goals, all comps.
Because all comps, the reason why it doesn't make a difference, because next season you're not going to win champs. Like can't see how you win champs. Real Madrid can't be as bad. City can't be as bad.
You got FA Cup. You got Carabao Cup.
Boy, that's what I can't bid on saying Arsenal are signing a 70 million
also,
pound
you
player
say
to win Carabao Cup.
You say City are going to be back. City's recruitment's been terrible.
But City got Pep, bro. This doesn't make a difference.
There are Man City fans that are saying to me they don't trust Pep with the signings he's been making over the last couple of summers.
Next season they're gonna get back the best player in the Prem, and that's Rodri. So it doesn't make a difference, bro.
We'll see if he's the same Rodri.
You're damn right.
We'll see if he's the same Rodri.
There's more of a question mark on Gyokeres than there is on Rodri.
Of course, because Rodri's already been there and done it, so it is what it is.
And for me, I don't know, bro. I don't know, man.
We'll see.
Maybe Gyokeres might be the one, but I don't see it.
I just feel like maybe I understand what you're saying, but I feel like we do a lot of waiting around for things. One of the things I don't like about Arteta and Arsenal is they do a lot of waiting around for things to be perfect.
But Tony was perfect, though. Tony was perfect. Other than the gambling.
I disagree that Tony was perfect. But that's we're going back because there's 2 years ago. It's a different conversation. I want to move on because we've been 25 minutes on this topic. Common sense in football, something that we obviously disagree on. Taiwo Awoniyi from Nottingham Forest. It's not even a banter thing. It's a serious thing. He was induced into a coma. Apparently he's stable. So obviously thoughts and prayers to his family.
You don't even pray, but go on.
But thoughts and prayers. You man's prayers, innit? Not my prayers. I don't pray. But, I mean, somebody's thoughts and prayers. I'm trying to be serious on a topic. Yeah, this is our first serious topic on this show. Yeah, look what certain man are doing.
Hey, bro, man, don't expect us to be this formal.
It's not formal. I said thoughts and prayers. Man's in a coma. What's formal about that? What do you say? He's a pussy. He scored against us late. Not inside the FA Cup 2 seasons ago. He's a pussy. Fuck him.
I don't want you to say that.
What do you want to do, bro? I'm trying,
innit? Thoughts and prayers and you know you ain't praying for him.
But I didn't say my thoughts and prayers. It's just how people saying it. Fuck you know. All right, cool. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyway, he's in a coma and it is what it is. But now, like on the level, obviously,
all jokes aside,
it's
peak that's all facts, by the way. That's the chill.
And it's one of them ones. Shane wasn't even aware of it, but when he got in, I was showing him the situation. But we always say, or we regularly say, about Linos not putting up the flag if Lino's not putting up the flag, letting the play go on, seeing if there's a goal. Obviously, it goes to VAR, blah blah blah. But the Lino didn't put up his flag. He's gone competing with a defender, gone into the post. I think he's clashed his head, and now he's induced into a coma. So obviously, hopefully he's okay. Apparently he's stable, so hopefully he comes through that. But we had to talk about it because it seems like obviously the medical staff, he went off. The medical staff sent him back on. Similar thing with Timber, not a head injury of Timber, but then he got injured for the whole season, the first season we bought him. But the medical staff said he was fine, went back on, and then obviously after the game induced into a...
See, I feel like there should be more of a skepticism around the medical team
than the linesman.
Now, with the linesman, I feel like it's more of an institutional issue than an individual issue.
Because we should have semi-automated offsides in the first place.
Like, in boxing, we always say, and I'm sorry to relate it to boxing, but we always say, how long is it going to be before a drug cheat actually kills someone in a boxing ring? Yep. And then all of a sudden, hindsight saying, we should have had something put in place beforehand.
Even a week or two ago, we saw a stoppage with Inoue. And people were saying the stoppage is early, but what you have to think about is we're seeing someone not throwing back any punches, and you're not coming back into the fight anytime soon. So all that's going to happen, especially if you're down on the cards, if you're down 8-0 on the cards, you're not going to win on points. You can't. are you going to win by knockout? If it doesn't look like you're going to win by knockout, we're just going to watch you hold licks for 4 rounds. We might call it here.
And the reason why it's relatable to football is because it's the same as, even if you score, the goal's not going to count.
Yeah.
So what's the point of playing on? What's the point of continuing a fight when the guy can't win? What's the point of continuing a game when the guy is clearly offside?
Yeah.
Just call the game, bro. Just call the game.
Yeah.
Like, literally, it's obvious. Call the game, stop the game. What's the point of continuing? Like, genuinely.
I was pissed at the linesman until Shane made the point that it's an institutional problem.
It's an institutional problem.
Now I'm pissed at the Premier League because I think La Liga's had semi-automated offsides for a while. The Champions League has semi-automated offsides. Jimmy, these things are very unlikely to happen in the Champions League because it will just flag it as offside. It's automated. Do you mean the technology is there?
No, but
I think the clubs had the opportunity to vote on this and they voted against it. They could have had it. They chose not to.
No, but that's why it's a bigger systemic and institutional issue. And here's the thing, like, it comes down to the fact that we actually have a guy who's in a coma. Cool, the institutions let him down. His team has let him down as well. Because I can't lie, if I'm playing football and that accident happens to me, bro, if I come out of a coma and my career's done, someone's getting sued, bro.
Yeah.
On a Devin Haney thing, someone's getting sued, bro.
Yeah.
If my career's done,
Yeah.
bro, someone's getting sued, bro.
Yeah.
This guy could, bro, his career could be done.
We've seen mad things happen with players. Obviously, we remember the Fabrice Muamba
Facts.
situation. One of Newcastle's defenders had cancer. I remember a while ago. I can't remember if was it Jonas Gutierrez, I think it was. He had cancer.
Oh, yeah.
And
Gutierrez,
Newcastle didn't. I think he's a midfielder, not a defender.
Yeah, he used to play for Liverpool as well, innit?
Newcastle withheld his wages for the time he didn't play.
Swear.
Yeah, and I think he took them to court as well about stuff like that. But like even like the well-being, we see we were laughing at Rashford a couple of years ago for up and down performances, and United fans are saying, bro, he's playing with injections in his leg, and now we're seeing Saka playing with injections in his leg. Ben White had a surgery on his ankle earlier on in the season, came back. He's obviously not really fit enough to be playing football, but he's playing football anyway. There has to be some conversation about the well-being of players. And like I say, Timber played 15-20 minutes on his debut, was playing really well at left back in the first game of the season. He played pre-season against Man United, killed it, played his first game, bust up his I don't know what injury it was, bust it up. But the medical staff sent him back on, and then it got worse, and he was out for the whole season.
But here's the thing, and this is, I have to relate it back to boxing. You want to know the cornerman's most important job? You want to know what that
Protect
is?
the fighter.
Protect the fighter.
Yep.
More than winning a fight, protect the fighter.
Yeah. You can fight another day. That's what I say. Live and fight another day.
What the problem is, and I've seen this in boxing, and I'm starting to see it in football, is where people are prioritising winning a game. That was a big game for Nottingham Forest. They're trying to get into top 4. It's a big game for Nottingham Forest. For me, it's like you prioritise winning a game over somebody's well-being.
Yep.
And that's what's happening. We're starting to see people, and bro,
you walk into any boxing gym and you start training to box, and you say to the coach, someone pulls a knife out on me, what move should I do? Any boxing gym, any martial arts dojo, and they will say, if someone pulls out a knife and says, give me your phone, the move you should pull is give them your phone. You know what I'm saying? Literally. You go to any boxing gym, any martial arts gym, any dojo in the world, they'll say the move is give them your phone and walk away. Do you know what I'm saying? The well-being and the safety comes first.
Always.
And all the material stuff comes after. And for us on the road, it's our phone, and for Nottingham Forest, it's getting into the Champions League. But the well-being has to come first.
Facts, and that wasn't the case. And I know the linesman is getting
some flack
for it, but he's following the rules of the institution. That is the rules. You do not lift up he could be a mile offside. You can't do it. You just can't do it, bro.
I think there's got to be a common sense though. If he's clearly offside,
bro, you can't.
If he's clearly offside,
you can't, bro.
Then let's sack the linesman. Then what's he there for? Then he's just taking money for no reason.
A couple years ago, that's what Jose Mourinho said.
Just get rid of him.
Jose Mourinho said, "What's the point of having a referee?"
He's a cheerleader.
He said, "Bro, the referee is not here."
He's a cheerleader with no chest, blood.
The referee's in what's it called, bro? In
Stockley Park.
Stockley Park.
Yeah.
That's where we are, bro.
Yeah.
That is literally where we are. And for me, this is what I don't like. It's the 50-50. Either we go fully technology or we go fully because he knew it was offside, but he can't flag because of the rules. Do you think he didn't flag because he wanted to see play go on? He didn't flag because he knows the rules, bro.
Yeah.
He knows the rules. And
he's going to get in trouble from somebody else if he flags or whatever.
He knows the rules. So Bro,
it's double jeopardy for him. If he flags and then they go and score.
Let me ask you a question, yeah? If you're a policeman and I'm sorry to make this an analogy, but let's say you're a policeman
Never
and
in
it
my
says
life.
every single time you see a black person, you have to shoot them. I can't blame the policeman. I gotta blame the rules,
What
bro.
kind of
I gotta
fucking...
blame the law.
What kind of analogy is that?
Bro,
You can go against the rules in that situation.
I'm here to uphold the law. That's the law.
Do you follow rules that much?
Bro,
Do you follow rules that much?
I'm not talking about me, but there's...
Do you follow rules that much? You might be a pussy, you know. Do you follow rules like that?
No, but obviously
Serious?
it's an extreme example. But at the end of the day...
That's a terrible analogy.
No, but...
That's worse than
Derek just...
yeah, you knew what I was gonna. That's the worst analogy I've ever heard. For any police officers that are watching, if you stop Shane on the street and he gives you any attitude, yeah, clip up this video and bring it back.
No, I said if it was the law.
Might be.
But let's keep it real. Once upon a time it was.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, like Trident and that. You know what it is. But yeah, I get you. It's I mean, look, it's a mad situation. So hopefully he's cool. Hopefully we don't see stuff like this again. The Premier League has the money for semi-automated offsides. Bring it in. It's not even a case of fairness, trophies, whatever. It's now a case of people's health and safety. And we've been saying it, felt like this could happen. And it's happened. So obviously Shane doesn't want me to send my prayers to Taiwo Awoniyi, but
I'm not saying not to, but I'm saying you don't pray.
You said what you said, and we all heard it. So hopefully he comes through that, and hopefully he's not too damaged to continue his career. But there you go, Canelo Crawford. It's happening.
Yeah,
we didn't think it was going to happen, and good news for sensible boxing fans, it's happening in the US.
The fact that we actually have to report. And people are reporting that's in the US is a disgrace, isn't it?
And I also don't want to hear no Saudi national anthem. We might hear it anyway because the Saudis own about 8% to 15% of America's economy in the first place. If you know, you know. But do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, common sense has prevailed. Hopefully, he's learned from that awful weekend that was happened a couple weeks ago of just.
No, but
boxing is the way it is for a certain reason.
But my question is, why are we reporting on this? Why are we in a world where we have to speak about Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez? Wow, big news is in Vegas. Like, bro, where else is it supposed to be? Like, people,
could have easily been in Saudi.
It could have. But it's an idiot thing, innit?
It would have been an idiot thing.
Like. How much time do I have to say boxing in Saudi is crap before people start listening to me, bro? How much time do I have to say that?
It's also crap in Times Square.
No, but in New York it's not though.
No, I just said Times Square.
Yeah, that concept was, they tried a thing, it didn't work.
Yeah.
But bringing boxing, for me, and this is going to be a mad take, the moment you say this is the biggest fight of the sport or the biggest fight in history, and you say it's in Saudi, instantly it becomes not the biggest fight anymore. The moment of Derek, it's going to be physically impossible for a big fight to be in Saudi. Impossible.
Before Terbiev 1 was in Saudi.
I was there.
And you were there.
They weren't big.
You supported it.
They weren't big.
He supported it. He's
it
part of the
wasn't big.
You might be part of the problem. You paid money to go over there and support this.
No, but it weren't big though. It wasn't big, bro. It wasn't big. If a fight is in Saudi, instantly it becomes small to me.
I don't know about that.
Bro, you know why? Because if you go there, you're selling out, bro.
You can only say that now, yeah, because we're on the other end of so many big fights. So now you can get on your high hope. Before we had some of these big fights, yeah, we would have been.
No, but I didn't want them in Saudi.
You didn't want them in Saudi, but when we first started getting big fights in Saudi, big fights we thought would never happen. When Bivol Beterbiev was first announced, we didn't give a fuck where it was. We've been waiting for it for so long. We've been starved. We were like, yes. It could be on the moon. I don't give a shit. Do you know what I'm saying? It's happening. That's all we care about. But now you're getting a bit. Now you're getting a bit spoiled. Now you're getting a bit spoiled. 2020. You're getting a bit spoiled now. Cool.
Let me ask you a question.
Some big fight. I get what you're saying. The biggest creme de la creme fights should still be in the creme de la creme locations. But if there are big fights that are not creme de la creme, but they're big, I could see them in Saudi.
No, boxing shouldn't be in Saudi.
The Saudi guys. You're not being realistic. You're not being realistic. The Saudi guys are giving money to put on fights we wouldn't normally see. Fact. And they're
getting their money back.
The exchange rate for that is that some of these fights happen in Saudi. Fact. That's the exchange.
But that shouldn't be the exchange.
That is the exchange, though. Bro. You can't tell people what to do with their money. That's the exchange.
No, the reason
that is the exchange. That is the exchange.
Let me tell you why that's not a good idea. Because
I don't think it's a good idea. You don't need to tell. I think it's a bad idea. But I'm just telling you, it's their money and they can do what they want with it. They've said.
But it's not working though. It's not working for them either.
For some of the fights, it's fine. Bivol Beterbiev a great fight.
Bro, for boxing,
where should Bivol Beterbiev have taken place?
Where it should have taken place, Russia. That's what it should have taken place.
But that was never going to happen. Do you see what I'm saying? So in fact, Bivol Beterbiev 1 is a great example of a fight that was okay to happen in Saudi because of the politics of what's happening in Russia.
Yeah. But we're seeing... But let's bring it back to the fact that we're...
When was the last AJ fight in Saudi?
That was AJ versus Ngannou. That was in Saudi.
I don't mind that in Saudi.
Bro,
it was an exhibition fight. It wasn't even like if it's AJ Dubois, if AJ Fury's in Saudi, then it's like whoa, like it would be so AJ and Ngannou would be better in Vegas or better in Wembley or something like that. I get you, but there some of them fights, like I say, or boxing should have said no, thank you. We'll stay with our already big paydays, but no, thank you. We don't want the money. That's what it is.
No, bro. What you do is you can try it. You can try it. Try Times Square. Tried Canelo in Saudi. Yep. It flopped. So I don't want to hear nothing about Saudi again. It failed.
Then we're taking our money out. Can we take our money out?
Huh? It failed for you as well.
Can they take their money out? They have unlimited money. Can they take their money out?
But wait, let me land.
Who's losing more? Who's losing the Times Square card? Who lost more, Saudi or the fans?
The Saudi.
The fans, because they've got unlimited money.
No, but they've got unlimited
money.
They still lost.
Who lost more was the question. Who lost more?
Fans weren't even allowed to go.
That's why they lost, you idiot. That's what I'm saying. The money that they lost on that, the money they've lost in the last month, is eye-watering money to Eddie and Frank and these man. But to them, man, that's not eye-watering money. Them man have got tigers as pets and all kind of foolishness. Do you know what I'm saying?
But I'm saying, what in my mind, it's making Saudi look worse than look better. If they're trying to turn Saudi into a Mecca or the place that people want to go to and like enjoy themselves.
Your analogies are off today. Trying to turn Saudi to Mecca. You know what Mecca is?
Yeah, of course.
What's guy talking about?
If you're trying to turn Saudi into, I meant to say Mecca or boxing.
Yeah, I know you're going to say.
You know what I'm saying? If they wanted to turn Saudi into like this Vegas of boxing or like a Vegas of the Middle East or like a...
I don't think they wanted to make it the Vegas of the Middle East.
What are they trying to make it then?
They're trying to invent something new. This is what you're not understanding.
They're trying to make it more palatable for the public. And by doing what they're doing is taking people off Saudi instead of making people want to go. Because I went and I'm like, bro, I can't go back them places there, fam.
But that's because of the whole experience.
So what else are people going to have? They're not going to have an experience.
But the majority of people are not going to Saudi to watch the fights. The majority of people
are just... So then why have fights then?
Listen, you're asking me things above my pay grade. I don't understand. If you are a country like Saudi Arabia and you have loads of history of ties to certain groups and treatment of certain people and you want to be more on the world stage, I don't personally understand how buying up loads of professional footballers and overpaying them helps your country. So I can't answer you what their plan is because the whole thing don't make any sense to me. That doesn't make any sense to me. I'm confused. I just don't get it. I don't know what the boxing was supposed to do. I don't get it because the boxing is so far. It's at 6 o'clock in the morning. Who was paying to go over there? If you paid for the holiday when you go on holiday to go watch a fight, it's partly a holiday as well. Like, I mean, it's partly you're going to do for the time you're there, you're going to do tourism stuff and check out the place and whatever. Yeah. So imagine you paid to go Saudi for that weekend and you got to get up at 3, 4 in the morning to shit, shower, and shave and get to the fight for the 5 o'clock ring. That don't make any sense to me. So I don't understand. I don't even understand how that works. I don't understand people. I've never in my life looked at Arsenal in pre-season and gone, oh my God, Arsenal have gone to Toulouse. I never thought about going to Toulouse. Let me go to Toulouse now. My brain doesn't work like that. So I don't understand how any of this works.
Can I ask you a question then?
Go on.
The decision to now make, because it seems like it's a now decision, Canelo and Crawford in Vegas. What do you think that's because of? You think Canelo's made that decision? You think Turkey's made that decision? You think Crawford? Who do you think's made that decision?
I think everybody's made that decision. I think Crawford doesn't fancy being up at 6 o'clock in the morning for a weigh-in for a start, so he's not doing that. Canelo had his worst performance in many, many, many years there, so that performance is probably worse than the performance against Bivol when he lost. Do you know what I mean? And I think it does suit Turkey. I think Turkey's got to try to hedge his bets. There will still be fights in Saudi, 100%, but I think he's going to hedge his bets on what fights The fights that have specific cultural currency are going to have to be in the places they hold cultural currency.
Facts.
And the fights that are generally big fights but don't hold the same cultural currency, maybe he can take those to Saudi. And I think that's the trade-off. And I think that's just something that you have to just deal with. Bivol Beterbiev, Saudi, fine. AJ Ngannou, Saudi, fine. But maybe even AJ Ruiz too. But
That was in Saudi.
that's what I was just thinking about. Maybe even that. Because the first one was in New York anyway, so the British fans didn't see the first one because it wasn't even in Britain. But things like AJ Dubois, no. AJ Fury, no. Dubois Usyk, no. You know, Haney Garcia, no. Do you mean
Tank Shakur?
Tank doesn't do work with
Oh yeah, he does.
thing anyway. So do you mean? But like, yeah, you know, Tank Shakur or
Canelo,
you know, all of those fights, no, they have genuine cultural currency. You know, if you Benavidez Canelo cannot be in Saudi.
Facts.
But if there's if you get to like a Benavidez Callum Smith,
Potentially.
we might see that in Saudi.
But
Again, all it comes down to is they just need to hire us to help them do this because they just don't seem to know what they're doing.
Here's the question though. Now the fight's not in Saudi, does Canelo still get the same purse? Because Shakur Stevenson fell out with Turkey because his purse reduced because the fight was now in America.
Then
and
Shakur Stevenson is a fucking idiot because, as I just said, that's the trade-off. Do you mean that's work fighting boxing in America? Let me just cuss Shakur for a second. Yeah, boxing in America is the same as working from home. You may not get the same salary working from home that you get going into the office 5 days a week. That's the reality. I'm putting my money into the boxing. The reason I'm paying you, man. All of you lot tell me he's a fan of boxing. Get his dick out of your mouth, you Diddy lovers. Do you know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just no one loves stuff this much, especially rich people. Rich people are the tightest people I know. Do you know what I'm saying? Hey, yo. Do you know what I mean? If I needed to borrow £5 right now, yeah, all my brethren that are rich are probably not giving it to me. Pause.
The poor
do you know what I'm
ones
saying?
will.
The poor ones will do that, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Or we'll split £2.50 each, or do you know what I'm saying? We'll split the flat wings with the drumstick wings, or we'll figure it out. Do you know what I mean? But them man are not lending me money, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's obviously stupid. It's almost like he's being managed by a rap manager and not a sports manager, because that's obviously stupid. I've paid you to come and promote my country. I'm promoting you in accordance with you promoting my country. You don't promote my country. I'm not going to pay you as much. Duh.
So you think that's the trade-off Canelo had to make as well, and Crawford?
Yeah.
So they took a pay cut to fight in Vegas. You think
They must do, or maybe they're going to get a cut of the gate because there's no gate in Saudi. But they're going to try and make it up. That won't bridge the gap though. It will still be less. But the cultural cut, bro. How much merch can they sell then? How much? Something. How many T-shirts is Crawford selling or in Saudi? Nothing.
But would you, if you were in Crawford?
Crawford was falling asleep. First of all, they're at a boxing disadvantage if they box in Saudi because Crawford is fucking falling asleep at ringside.
Would you do that? What would you do? If you were Crawford, what would you do?
I'm a mercenary. I take the money. I'm a mercenary. But the joy is, I don't understand. I've never fought in world championship fights. I don't know how much I don't know how much man need the crowd. How much it affects. I'm sitting here on the couch, like,
it's affected my performance, the commentator.
Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean? But sitting here on my couch, it's always going to be the money. It's always going to be the money. I ain't got no. I'm a mercenary. I ain't got no love or loyalty to nobody other than my back pocket blood. Do you know what I'm saying?
In Crawford's position, he's selling his own. He could potentially be selling
Potentially.
Because if he fights in Saudi, we've seen it affect fighters in different ways.
But does he get a bad? Does he get a bad run of the judges
in Vegas?
Even in Saudi without his crowd? At least in Vegas, he can take people with him. He can have enough of a crowd.
Black people ain't flying to Saudi.
I don't know, man. I like the Middle East. I'm
talking about Black Americans. Black Americans.
Oh, Black Americans. I'm sorry. You should have specified.
No, but it's Crawford's crowd.
Black Americans are not.
Crawford's crowd.
Black Americans don't fly.
They might not even fly to Vegas.
That's facts. It's facts, Joey. 100%. Joey. So
yeah,
his coach has got gun charges. He might not be able to get on a plane. Can he go over there, Bomac?
That's a good question.
Bomac might not even be able to go over there.
Literally. That's the next thing.
So all of these things, yeah, I think Vegas works for everyone, and I hope going forwards we see some common sense prevailing for
facts.
You know,
great fights where there's cultural currency, has to be.
That's where Saudi's falling down at the moment. They're trying to buy culture. You can't buy culture. Do you mean? You bought Cristiano Ronaldo, yeah, when his career was tailing off.
But it's common sense. We know that they don't know about culture because they took 3 guys from Cali or 4 guys from California, one from Northern California and Oakland, and the other ones who are from Mexican cultures and brought them to New York on Cinco de Mayo. You don't understand. You took a Mexican...
and also had it behind closed doors. New York has a great Latin community, but you've had it behind closed doors, so you couldn't tap into that Latin community because...
And then you took the biggest Mexican fighter on Cinco de Mayo and brought him to Saudi.
Yeah.
Like that, as you said, they're trying to buy culture.
You might have had it smarter to have him perform in Vegas or even in Tijuana, because William Scull will travel anywhere. Let's be clear, he travelled to fucking London to spar with Conor Benn.
Yeah, fact.
Do you know what I mean? So you might have even been better doing that in Tijuana, getting a more impressive Canelo performance, and then using that performance to build the Canelo Bud fight. Instead, the Canelo Bud fight feels a bit flat because of the performance we just saw. Just hire us. We do this. Just hire us and let me do this. Because you man don't know what you're doing. You got money but no sense.
Literally.
You know what I'm saying?
Literally. There is no logic behind it. But yeah, man.
Speaking of money and no sense, Billy Joe Saunders.
I don't know if he's got money. I heard he's been getting boxed up, punch up in them sites.
I'm not going to tell you how we heard that information, but a reliable gypsy source told us that traveller source, gypsy, what's the right term? I think traveller is the PR term, but obviously Tyson Fury calls himself the Gypsy King. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like Tank calling himself the Nigger King. It's going to be difficult for man to not call him that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, how you going to promote yourself? Do you know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
That is so true.
That's crazy. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm always, traveller. Literally. I don't know. But them man there, yeah, apparently Billy Joe Saunders are getting pieced up on them sites. But it don't matter anyway, because right now, yeah, well, not right now, but let's say with 4 months of training, Chris Eubank smokes him right now.
I think Billy Joe Saunders is done, bro.
Of course.
The whole speculation of him coming back to fight Eubank is kind of dead. I want to see it because the needle's going to be there. But the actual fight itself, that Billy Joe Saunders that we used to see slick dancing around, bro, this guy's weighing at least 260, 270 pounds, bro.
Facts.
He's looking heavy. He's looking out of shape.
But he's going to look like that. He hasn't fought for 4 years. His last fight was May of 2021 when he bust his orbital eye socket. Like, it's not even like he lost on a points decision. It's like, the last time you got on the ring, you got bruck up.
Facts.
Do you know what I'm saying? And that was against Canelo, who right now might even lose to Chris Eubank based on what we've seen. So, do you know what I mean? But what's dope for Chris Eubank is that fight with Conor Benn and has opened up so many doors for him.
So much financial.
He made 10 mil from that fight, but he might make 25 mil from the next two fights up after Conor Benn's rematch.
Easily, because apparently if he beats Conor Benn in a rematch, he fights Canelo if Canelo beats Bud. And I can easily see that.
Yeah, Canelo beating Bud is not crazy. Canelo is the betting favourite to beat Bud. And I think Bud wins that fight, but Canelo's the favourite.
Eubank's the betting favourite, and if Eubank, you gotta bear in mind. Let's keep it all the way 100. If I'm Canelo, the biggest financial opportunity for me after the Bud fight is Eubank. If Eubank has
Benavidez,
bro, no, not even close. Benavidez isn't a pay-per-view star right now. Like, he's not doing the pay-per-view numbers Eubank's doing. He's not selling out 90,000 in Wembley, bro.
Yeah.
Benavidez is big, but he's already big in a community that you're already big in.
Yeah.
You're Mexican.
You're sharing the same space,
you know what I'm saying? This is a whole country behind Eubank.
Yeah, true.
Do you know what I'm saying? Some love him, some hate him, but there's a country behind him. Yeah. And one thing that the Ben fight, especially...
There's a few 100,000 pay-per-view buys here behind Chris Eubank.
Especially if he beats Billy Joe Saunders. Because that whole white man community, gypsy community, bruv, they all hate Eubank.
Yeah, but they don't pay for pay-per-views.
Bro, Canelo's a ginger Mexican. He could pass. Them British men are still supporting. They were still supporting, bro. Just to beat Eubank. Just to beat Eubank.
Yeah.
If Eubank brushes Billy Joe Saunders, which I expect him
he will. And Chris Eubank would be fighting Billy Joe Saunders at 168.
Yeah.
Not even at a weight drain 160. He'll be fighting him at 168.
Boy, I don't know about that. Billy Joe Saunders making 168.
But I'm saying, okay, fine, at catch weight then. But I'm saying the more weight you give, what we saw in the performance with Conor Benn was Chris Eubank Jr. at his weakest and most weight drained. Facts. So not only does that Chris Eubank Jr. definitely beat Billy Joe Saunders and possibly beat Canelo, but that's not the one they'll be fighting. The one they'll be fighting will be bigger and stronger than that one.
Facts.
So I don't know how you look at that and think that's the guy I want to fight. Billy Joe's better trying to pick some needle with Conor Benn and try and fight him. But them on the bridges apparently.
Do you think Billy Joe Saunders is actually serious about coming back and fighting?
It's difficult because them Gypsy man, they just need attention. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what it seems. They just need their name to... They might just
be talking.
They're the biggest talkers.
Because you know what, yeah, I deeped it. Like, I don't think Billy Joe Saunders and Tyson Fury are in a similar position. Yeah. In the sense that...
No. Billy Joe's way worse.
But let me explain though.
Yeah.
In one sense, they both can't afford to lose to their adversary. Billy Joe Saunders can't afford to lose to Eubank.
Yeah.
Like socially and publicly.
I think that
Fury can't afford to lose to AJ.
I think that from that perspective, we're more likely to see Billy Joe Saunders return because he has more of an excuse for if he loses. And I think that Billy Joe Saunders has less of a but he has less of a great legacy. Money as well, but his legacy is not that. The difference in his legacy, if he loses to Canelo, the difference in his legacy between right now and if he comes back and loses to Chris Eubank, I don't think it changes that much. I don't think people look at him as a...
But that win over Eubank does carry a lot of weight for him now.
I hear you, but if Fury were to lose to AJ...
That's a whole nother level.
That you've dropped to... This is not even an AJ. This is not even a dominant AJ.
Facts.
This is an AJ coming off a loss to Dubois. So you've got Usyk, Dubois, AJ, Fury. You're not even dropping down to the second best Brit of your generation. You're dropping down to the third best Brit. Maybe the third or fourth best heavyweight of your generation. You're dropping way down. So I think that I guess the money is much bigger for that fight as well. But I think that
I guess with Fury's already earned a life-changing sums of money. Billy Joe.
But that man will sniff a life-changing amount of money.
But I'm saying, what about Billy Joe Saunders? He ain't earned the Fury type of money. So I thought there's a high chance Billy Joe Saunders comes back because he's gonna see that food. He's gonna see that food that Eubanks earned.
He's got a lot of weight to shift though.
So did Fury, blood.
But Fury's a heavyweight. It's different. That extra weight is part of Fury's game plan. I know he's kind of got good footwork and stuff, but that going in heavy, leaning on a man, whatever. Yeah, he's at his career heaviest to fight Usyk.
Facts.
But Billy Joe, Tyson ain't got no weight thing to get past. He ain't got to make no specific weight. He just goes by how he feels. You don't think
Billy Joe Saunders will do it for the paper? Because it's going to be like tens of millions.
If he put tens of millions,
maybe like 8, 9, 10 million.
Tens of millions and 8 million are two different things.
Sorry. It's going to be like close to 10 million.
I think for that money he'll try, but I don't even think. I think he'll talk it up and try. I don't even know if he can make it. I don't even know if he'll be healthy.
Yeah, I hear you.
4 years out of the ring.
Facts. But so Fury was out for a while as well, though. But he weren't coming off it.
But he ain't got to make 168.
True.
We need him to make 168.
Might make it a catch weight like 170 or something.
That's even worse for him. I don't know. I don't know.
You don't see the fight happening?
I'd like it to happen, but I don't trust Billy Joe. So to be honest with you, when these gypsy man talk, I just assume the opposite. I told you already, if them man tell me the sky's blue, I'll assume it's green. Like, I just don't trust anything that they say. Do you know what I'm saying? Anything at all. Whatever they tell me, I automatically assume the opposite.
If I'm Eubank, though, I'm pushing for that fight.
Just the easiest money for the biggest fights. It's easy money.
Facts.
That's easy money right now.
That's printing money.
Do you know what I'm saying?
And I don't have to make weight.
You're coming off a 4-year layoff. It's an easier fight for me physically because you're not as fresh. You're not even as active as Conor Benn, like in the ring active. You know what I mean? You're not like a scrapper. Coming off an injury. Like, bro, he'll just get in the ring and
I don't have to
beat him up.
Weight.
I actually think it could potentially be a dangerous fight for Billy Joe Saunders.
Facts.
Because Eubank ain't got knockout power.
He'll
just batter you for 12 rounds.
Facts.
So I'm not sure.
Another topic that we have to talk about, because we'll be live for this weekend. Johnny Fisher, Dave Allen. I think, like, everybody can say it's not a great fight. Like, it's not like some world-class 2 future heavyweight champions fighting each other. However, we have great guys in the comment section always come with bants. So we're going to need your support for that one.
Yeah, 100%.
Because we're just going to be bantering them. To be fair, it's actually going to be an entertaining fight.
Be an entertaining fight, yeah.
Like two pub man. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Dave Allen's always entertaining. With Dave Allen, it's like he could, on his day, he could knock out most fighters. But how interested is he? How motivated is he? That's the, you know.
Most fighters. I
was throwing in all different weight classes into most fighters. I was adding everybody. In there.
He's a dangerous enough. He's game enough.
He's dangerous enough, and he's game enough, and he's English enough. But Johnny Fisher, yeah, I mean,
a lot of question marks, bro. Bosh.
I was surprised to see him get the nod last time.
Yeah.
But Dave, I feel like, you know, you can break his spirit a little bit, Dave Allen. You can.
I don't know if it's his spirit, but sometimes, like, he's almost got like what sometimes
he's got a defeatist mentality
where he's got paid. Yeah, because he's lost so many times. It's like
that's what I mean. Like, you're not going to break his spirit physically. Like, you're not going to break him down like that. But you can. He'll start off really motivated. You can break his motivation.
Yeah, break his motivation.
You can definitely break his motivation.
Yeah,
if the fight's too hard, you said it's about Dubois. Like, if the fight's too hard, as dangerous as Dubois was, he might just leave it.
Yeah, like,
do you know what I mean?
Facts,
that won't happen with the current Dubois because he's
the problem Johnny Fisher had was he was coming into that fight expecting to just wash Dave Allen, and Dave Allen landed some shots that got him a bit of confidence. I remember you were saying the uppercut was there from round one.
Yeah.
And then once you gave Dave Allen confidence, he's a guy. He's
a confidence fighter.
Game in it. His game. He's gonna have a goal. Yeah. And I feel like Johnny Fisher in this fight, he almost has to do the opposite of what he done last time. He just has to try to get out there with a win.
Yeah.
Clean win. Go home and dust yourself off. Because I feel like what you do is, one thing Johnny Fisher has, even though he doesn't have elite talent, he's a great seller. He sells fights.
Yep.
Like, he sells, and he's a great, like, sells 7,000-8,000. He's a mediocre fighter. What you don't want is people coming to watch you and they don't have the faith that you can win. Because with good matchmaking, you can get a good career out of Johnny Fisher. Maybe not world titles, but like an honest career where he's made a good amount of money. A tricky fight with a Dave Allen, it doesn't really put you anywhere. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You almost have. You need a fight where you win, and you win in good fashion, where the people who pay to watch you, they're coming to pay to watch you again. And I felt like this is another thing. I think that fight in Saudi the first time, was it in England?
What undercard would that have been on? I can't imagine that Dave Allen, Johnny Fisher was in Saudi.
I'm pretty sure that was in Saudi, bro.
You might be right, because
I think it was on Usyk Fury undercard.
Maybe that's why.
But that's my point.
It was in Riyadh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe him being in England, that might benefit him. I don't know. Like, Saudi affects fighters differently, but...
Listen, if you are here with us still at this point in the show, thank you very much. Please do like the video. Like we said, Johnny Fisher, Dave Allen, we're covering it live on Saturday night, and it's not the most exciting fight. However, next week, we have Josh Taylor fighting. A couple of weeks going into June, we've got Fabio Wardley fighting. We've got Davis versus Santos. We've got Opataya fighting. The following week after that, we've got Hitchens fighting Kambosos in New York. The following week after that, we've got Wilder's return. And the day after that, we've got Jake Paul versus Chavez Jr. So we've got a lot of boxing coming on the
fights that I haven't added to that list as well. There's a few fights that I haven't added to
But just those fights alone, all through June, we are going to be covering all of the boxing all over the world. Most of it live. I'm going to try and do as much of it live as possible. So 100%. Please do subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, be here for the lives. We'll let you guys know when we're going live. We'll post a full list and all that good stuff and break down all the fights. And let us know any other content that you want to see. We've got a few good ideas coming up, but if there is anything that you want to see, let us know. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's it, man. That's a wrap on episode 9. We're moving and we're grooving. Peace and love.